make it any longer than it needs to be. That's weeks you could have spent growing. Growing muscle takes forever. So you need to be spending as much time at maintenance or slightly above as possible. So it's within your interest to get as lean as quickly as possible, yeah? If you're worried about fatigue, yeah, I'm going to explain how to do it in a minute. If you're worried about that, there's ways of getting around that, right? And if you take the long, slow approach, you're still going to get fatigue, just chronically. Small fatigue over a long period of time. Some people even have massive fatigue in a 500 calorie deficit because they're overdoing the activity and the volume when it comes to weight training. But anyway, so you get rid of the binge eating issues, yeah, and you're not worried about losing muscle. It's 8 weeks, mate. Come on, get a grip, yeah? And this is how you do it. You use the minimum effective amount. For some people, that's 1. For the bigger guys, that's 2, maybe even 3. But the goal is to nuke the appetite. So do whatever you need to do to nuke the appetite. So you're essentially feeling like eating is a chore, eating is hard work. Why? Because if you spend the first week or 2 struggling to eat, this is crucial. This is what's going to get a massive snowball rolling. And once you're in a habit of eating hardly anything, when the hunger does creep back up, when the magical miracle effects, which for the first few weeks for most people are so pronounced, you know, that eating is hard. You know, that's why you can actually crash out on it without even trying. Yeah. Some people that I'm working with now, they're starting on what I recommend to most, and it's helping, but it hasn't quite crushed their appetite. They're still struggling. I say to them, I need you to get into a position where, you know, it's effortless. Because, like I say, 2-3 weeks of that, the rest of the diet, you've got the momentum, you've got the ball rolling, you've got all the good habits in place, and it is plain sailing. Even when that hunger creeps back up, you've now got all the patterns and behaviours in place for you to steamroll the last 6-7 weeks. Use a minimum effective amount. No steps, no cardio. The deficit is going to get you there rapidly. I've got a ton of anecdotes. Go on my Instagram, check them out. Then you're going to go as low as possible. For me and Dave, my best mate that I post all the time, it was 1,000 to 1,300 calories, yeah, with a range. I very often went over it, he didn't. He dropped 42 pounds in 9 weeks, which is ridiculous. It's like £3 minimum a week, yeah? Then your training needs to be as minimum as possible. I recommend 4 sets a week. If that's full body, that's 1 set every other day, more or less. Or if you're doing legs push pull, that's 2 sets each muscle each session. Or what me and Dave did, we did full body 2 sets, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which was 6 sets. And 4 weeks in, we were both feeling the fatigue essentially. So I dropped it to 1 set for most muscles, priorities or weak points. You could do 2 sets of them. So 4 to 6 sets per muscle per week. That's all you're going to do. And you're going to rest at minimum 3 minutes in between sets. So you can really give it everything you've got. Intensity needs to be high. A good training stimulus is the best and most effective thing for retaining muscle when dieting and when dieting hard. So your training needs to be A1. To manage fatigue, your sleep needs to be A1. It needs to be a deep sleep for 8 hours, blackout, cold room, take supplements if you need to. But if your sleep isn't dialed in when you're dieting this hard, the fatigue is going to hit you hard. So volume needs to be low, sleep needs to be dialed in. When it comes to the macros, the nutrition, the composition of what food you eat, it's going to be mainly protein, of course, yeah? Now, I always say aim for like 120 minimum. I don't care how big you are, yeah? I've pushed the boundaries on how low you can actually go on protein. And yes, there's studies that always show more is better. Listen, eat as much protein as you can allocate into those 1,000 calories. But if you need some variance, some fruit, a little bit of fat here and there, then by all means, don't feel afraid for 8 weeks to go as low as 120. I've tested it out. I've got no reason to lie to you. I've already got to stick to your diet starter pack and a Reta 1,000 approach diet starter pack. It's basically a kilo of chicken or a kilo of mince split into 2 or 3 meals a day, tons of green beans to keep you full, which probably isn't going to be needed on this approach because you're so full anyway, with a little bit of a yog bowl in the evening.